Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm Brain.
And I'm Anna. We're super excited you're here with us today. Whether you're on your way to work, doing chores, or just relaxing with your headphones on, thanks for spending your time with us.
Absolutely. And today, we're talking about something every English learner struggles with remembering vocabulary. You know that moment when you learn a new word. You feel great. And then, poof, it's gone the next day?
Oh yes, I've been there too, and I think most of our listeners have. So today we're going to share some powerful, practical ways to help you remember English words more easily and for the long term.
That's right. We'll talk about how to make new words stick in your brain, how to review them in smart ways, and even how to make learning fun.
Whether you're a beginner or already speaking some English, these tips are going to make a big difference in how fast and how well you remember new vocabulary.
So grab your notebook or just sit back and relax, and let's dive into how to remember words easily.
All right, let's start with a simple question. Why do we forget words in the first place?
Great question. You know, most learners think they have a bad memory, but that's usually not true. The real problem is that we just don't review or use the words enough after learning them.
Exactly. Think of your brain like a garden. If you plant a new word today but never water it, it won't grow. It'll just disappear. You need to give it some attention.
That's such a great image. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I learned the word zapato shoe, and I thought, okay, I got it. But the next week? Gone. Why? Because I never said it, wrote it, or saw it again.
Yes, that's what happens. When we only see a word once or twice, our brain doesn't know it's important, so it throws it away to save space.
And another big reason is we often learn words in isolation, like just memorizing a list of random words with no real meaning or connection.
Right. Our brains love stories, pictures, and emotions. Just memorizing a word like enormous is harder than learning it in a sentence like, the elephant was enormous and walked past my car.
So true. When you connect the word to an image or a story, it becomes more memorable. But if you just repeat enormous, 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 your brain goes, hey, what's that again?
So if you've been forgetting words, don't feel bad. It's not your fault, it's your method. The good news is, we're about to share some powerful techniques that really work.
Stick with us, because the next part is all about the most important rule when learning vocabulary: use it or lose it. Okay, let's dive into our first big tip for remembering words easily. And it's a simple but powerful one: use it or lose it.
Yes, this is so true. If you don't use a new word, you'll probably forget it no matter how many times you read it. Your brain needs to do something with that word.
Exactly. When you use a word maybe in a sentence, in a conversation, or even just by writing it down, your brain says, oh, this is important. Let's keep it.
Let's try something fun. Brain, I'll give you a word and you try to use it in a sentence. Ready?
Challenge accepted. Hit me.
Okay, the word is confused.
All right. I was confused when I saw the instructions because they were written in 5 different languages.
Nice. That's exactly what I mean. You didn't just repeat the word, you used it in a real-life way. That's how learners can train their brain to remember.
And you can do this anytime. You hear a new word? Use it in a sentence right away. Or say it out loud. I feel confused when I study too late at night. Boom, now you've connected it to your life.
You can also keep a small notebook or use the Notes app on your phone. When you learn a new word, write down a sentence with it. Make it personal. Make it funny. Just make it yours.
Here's another tip: talk to yourself. Seriously. Nobody's watching. You can say things like, today I feel motivated, or I'm going to cook something delicious. The more you use English words in your daily thoughts, the faster they stick.
Oh, and journaling is great too. Write about your day using new vocabulary. Even just 1 or 2 sentences a day can make a big difference.
That's a great point, and you don't have to be perfect, just try. You don't need fancy grammar, just use the word. Even something like food, delicious, I eat too much. Hey, that's progress.
I love that. Progress over perfection, always. The key is action. Learn the word, then use the word today, tomorrow, again and again.
So, remember, if you don't, coming up next, we'll show you how to make your brain remember words even better using a technique called spaced repetition. Trust us, this is a game changer.
All right, tip number 2 is something that memory experts and language learners love. It's called spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition. Sounds fancy, right? But it's actually really simple and super effective. It just means reviewing new words at specific time intervals.
Exactly. Instead of cramming a word 5 times in one day, you space out your reviews like once today, again tomorrow, then after 3 days, a week later, and so on.
Your brain loves this. It works with your memory's natural forgetting curve. Every time you review the word, right before you forget it, your brain says, "Oh, I guess this is important," and stores it deeper.
There are some amazing apps that help with this, like Anki Quizlet and Memrise. They show you the words you're about to forget and bring them back just in time.
Yeah, I used Anki when I was learning French. It would pop up a word I hadn't seen in days, and it was like, "Oh, wow, I almost forgot that." But because I reviewed it again, I remembered it longer.
And you don't need to be techie to do this. You can use good old paper flashcards too. Just make 2 piles, one for I remember this and one for I forget this, and keep reviewing the forget pile more often.
Here's a tip. Don't just write the word on your flashcard, write a full sentence. Like instead of just delicious, write this cake is delicious. That way, you learn the word in context.
I love that. And you can even add pictures or drawings to your cards if you're a visual learner. Make your learning colorful, funny, or silly. The brain remembers what stands out.
So, to wrap up this tip, use spaced repetition to review words at the right time, and use flashcards, digital or paper, to stay organized and consistent.
Just 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference. It's not about memorizing hundreds of words at once. It's about reviewing smart, not hard.
Coming up next, we'll share some super creative ways to remember words using your imagination. You don't want to miss this one. All right, it's time for one of my favorite techniques, and it's fun too. Tip number 3 is all about visualization and association.
Yes, this is where learning becomes creative. Instead of just reading or repeating a word, you create an image or connect it to something you already know.
Right. Let's say you're trying to remember the word giraffe. Don't just repeat it. Picture a super tall giraffe wearing sunglasses and dancing in your kitchen. Boom! Now your brain has a crazy image to hold on to.
Haha, I love that. The weirder, the better. Your brain remembers strange, emotional, or funny things way more easily than boring facts.
Exactly. And here's another example. Let's take the word angry. You could imagine a red-faced cartoon character stomping their feet and steam coming out of their ears.
Oh yes, that image sticks. Or take the word book. Maybe you picture a giant book opening and gold light shining out like it's magical. Now that's unforgettable.
These mental pictures are powerful, but we can go one step further by using association. That means connecting the new word to something you already know.
Like if you're learning the word bitter and you remember the taste of really strong coffee, now you've made a connection. Your brain understands.
Exactly. Or the word relax, you can link it to a beach, waves, and lying in a hammock. That feeling helps lock the word into your memory.
And this works even better when you say the word and imagine the image at the same time. Speak it, see it, feel it. Now your brain is fully involved.
So don't just memorize words, make them come alive in your mind. Use silly stories, bright pictures, or personal memories to give the word a home in your brain.
Coming up, we'll talk about why it's much more effective to learn words in full sentences, not just one by one. It's time to get out of the word list trap. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes language learners make learning words in isolation.
Oh yeah, we've all done it. Just sitting there, memorizing word lists like apple, table, window, blue, with no meaning, no connection, just hoping we'll magically remember them.
Spoiler alert, we usually don't, because our brains aren't designed to remember random lists. We remember stories, situations, and emotions.
That's why learning in context is so powerful. Instead of just learning the word window, learn it in a sentence like, I opened the window to feel the cool air.
Now your brain sees a full picture, it knows what's happening, there's action, a feeling, and suddenly the word has life.
Another great example is learning the word helpful. Instead of just repeating helpful, helpful, try this. My friend was really helpful when I moved to a new apartment.
Perfect. Now the word is attached to a real moment. That's how native speakers learn too, not word by word, but phrase by phrase, sentence by sentence.
One super tip: watch short English videos with subtitles. Listen for how words are used in real conversations. You'll pick up vocabulary naturally and remember it better.
And when you read, don't just write down new words, write down whole phrases or sentences. For example, instead of just writing excited, write, I'm excited for the weekend.
You can also try the chunking method, learning groups of words together, like I'm looking forward to or can you help me with? These are real, useful patterns you can use right away.
So remember, stop memorizing single words. Learn how they live and breathe in real language. That's what makes them stick.
And speaking of sticking, up next, we'll talk about how using your senses and emotions can make new words unforgettable. All right, tip number 5 is all about speaking out loud. You'd be surprised how much this helps your brain remember words.
Yes, when you say words aloud, you're using more parts of your brain, not just reading or listening. Your mouth, ears, and brain work together, making the word stick better.
It's like your brain gets a double workout. You see the word, say it, and hear yourself say it. This helps build stronger connections in your memory.
And don't worry if your pronunciation isn't perfect. The goal is to use the word actively, not be perfect right away.
Exactly. Try reading new words or sentences out loud, or even better practice speaking with a friend or language partner.
You can also talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing during the day. For example, I'm cooking dinner, or this book is interesting. It's simple but super effective.
So, if you want to remember words more easily, make your voice part of the learning process.
Speak out loud, activate your brain, and watch your vocabulary grow.
All right, tip number 5 is all about speaking out loud. You'd be surprised how much this helps your brain remember words.
Yes, when you say words aloud, you're using more parts of your brain, not just reading or listening. Your mouth, ears, and brain work together, making the word stick better.
It's like your brain gets a double workout. You see the word, say it, and hear yourself say it. This helps build stronger connections in your memory.
And don't worry if your pronunciation isn't perfect. The goal is to use the word actively, not be perfect right away.
Exactly. Try reading new words or sentences out loud, or even better, practice speaking with a friend or language partner.
You can also talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing during the day. For example, I'm cooking dinner, or this book is interesting. It's simple but super effective.
So, if you want to remember words more easily, make your voice part of the learning process.
Before we finish, Brain, I want to give all our listeners a little motivation boost.
Absolutely. Learning new words and building vocabulary takes time and effort, but every small step counts.
That's right. If you ever feel stuck or like you're forgetting everything, don't give up. It's normal, and it means you're learning.
Remember, progress isn't about how fast you learn, but how consistent you are. Just a few minutes every day adds up to big results.
Celebrate your wins, even the small ones. Did you remember one new word today? Awesome. That's a victory.
And every time you use a new word, you're building your confidence and your English skills.
So keep going, stay curious, and know that you're getting better one word at a time.
You've got this. Thanks for learning with us today. All right, Anna, let's wrap things up with a quick summary of what we covered today.
Sounds good. First, we talked about why we forget words mostly because we don't use or review them enough.
Then we shared some practical tips. Use it or lose it. Use new words actively in your daily life.
Next, we explained spaced repetition and how reviewing words at the right times helps lock them into your memory.
We also talked about memory tricks, visualization, and association, making words come alive with images and connections.
And why learning words in context, like full sentences, is way better than just memorizing word lists.
Plus, don't forget to speak out loud to activate your brain and strengthen your memory.
Awesome! Now for your action plan. Start by picking 3 new words today, use them in sentences out loud, and review them over the next few days using spaced repetition.
Add some fun by imagining pictures or stories for those words, make them memorable.
And remember to learn those words in real-life contexts through conversations, videos, or reading.
Just 10 minutes a day with these tips will make a huge difference. You've got all the tools, now it's time to practice.
Keep it simple, stay consistent, and enjoy the journey of learning.
That's right, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of English Learning Podcast.
If you found today's tips helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends who want to improve their English.
And comment below, what new word will you practice using this week? We'd love to hear from you.
Also, check out our other episodes for more great tips on learning English naturally and easily.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep growing your English